The sky was dark when her small ship tore through the clouds of the dead planet. Alina sat gripping the controls tightly as alarms screamed around her. Her heart raced, but she kept calm, knowing this crash was going to happen no matter what she did. Her ship had lost power hours ago. Drifting closer to this lifeless world, she had no choice but to land or die in space alone. The ground rushed up fast. The ship hit hard and slid across the rocky surface, sparks flying. Alina's seatbelt cut into her shoulder, but she was alive. When the dust settled, all she could hear was her own breathing. Heavy and fast, her hands shook, but she forced herself to check her body. Some bruises, a cut on her arm, but nothing broken outside the window. The world was gray and empty. No wind, no animals, no plants. Just endless rocks under a dark sky. It felt like the planet itself was dead, but Alina knew she couldn't stay inside the broken ship. The air outside was thin but breathable. She gathered what she could: a small backpack, some water, a flare, a knife, and opened the hatch. The air outside was cold and dry. Dust swirled around her boots as she stepped out. The silence was heavy, almost crushing. Even the wind seemed too afraid to blow here. She looked around and saw strange shapes. Far away. Maybe old buildings, maybe just rocks. But one thing was clear: she was alone. Alina walked a few steps and turned back to look at her ship. Smoke rose from its broken engines. It would never fly again. Her only hope was to find help or shelter. Before night fell, she checked her small wrist device. The planet's temperature would drop fast once the sun disappeared. She had hours at most as she walked. Her boots crunched on dry stones. Her shadow stretched long behind her. The sky above was strange, a pale sun with a red halo around it. In the distance, she thought she saw something move. She stopped, staring hard, but nothing was there. Just rocks and dust. Her breath quickened. She felt the hairs on her neck rise. She was sure someone or something was watching her. But where? She spun around, scanning the horizon. Nothing moved. Still, the feeling didn't go away. She pressed on, walking toward the strange shapes she had seen from the crash site. As she got closer, she saw they were ruins. Old stone structures, half buried. In the dust, the stones were carved with symbols she didn't recognize. Who had lived here? How long ago? Had they died out or left this place behind? She walked into the ruins, moving slowly. Inside, the silence was even deeper. Her footsteps echoed off the stone walls. Somewhere, a piece of stone fell, making a sharp noise. Her heart jumped. It sounded like a whisper in the silence. She paused. To take a drink from her water bottle, she would need to ration it carefully as she bent down to put the bottle back in her bag. She saw them: footprints, not her own. They were large, with 3 long toes and deep marks where claws must have. Dug into the dust, the prints were fresh. Her blood ran cold. She was not alone on this dead planet. Alina knelt by the prints and touched them gently. The dust inside was still loose. Whatever made them was nearby. Her eyes scanned the ruins around her. Shadows lay thick between the broken walls. Anything could be hiding there, watching her. A soft sound came from one of the shadows, a breath. Her heart pounded in her chest. Slowly, she reached for her knife. She held it tight, but her hands trembled. The sound came again. Closer this time, she backed away, step by step. Her foot struck a stone and she almost fell, catching herself just in time. Then, from the darkness, something stepped out, tall and thin, with glowing eyes that watched her calmly. It didn't speak, didn't move to attack, it just watched. Alina froze, staring at the strange figure. Her breath came fast and shallow. What was this creature? Was it friend or foe? The silence stretched between them, heavy and cold. The alien tilted its head, as if curious. Then it took one step toward her. Alina tightened her grip on her knife. She could run, she could fight, or she could wait. She chose to wait. The creature raised one long arm slowly. In its hand was a small, glowing stone. It held the stone out to her. A gift. Alina swallowed hard, her fear mixing with wonder. Maybe she wasn't as alone as she thought. Maybe this planet wasn't so dead after all. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the ruins. Night was coming, and with it, more mysteries. The first encounter, Alina stayed frozen as the alien held out the glowing stone. Its soft light bathed them both in a pale green glow. The creature's skin looked smooth, almost silver in the dim light. Its large, glowing eyes never blinked. It waited, calm and patient. Slowly, Alina lowered her knife. Her heart still pounded, but her fear was changing. This being did not seem to want to hurt her. With a deep breath, she stepped forward and carefully took the stone from its hand. The moment she touched it, the stone grew warmer. The alien made a soft humming sound, almost like approval. Then, without warning, the creature turned and walked deeper into the ruins. It didn't look back, but paused, as if waiting for her to follow. Alina hesitated. Could she trust this strange being? But she knew she couldn't survive alone on this dead planet. She had no choice, gripping the stone tightly. She followed. The alien led her through narrow stone passages. The ruins felt ancient, with cracked walls and fallen ceilings. Strange symbols glowed faintly on some of the stones. Alina couldn't read them, but she felt their importance. They seemed to hum quietly, like the stone she held. As they walked, she tried to study the alien. It moved gracefully, almost silently. Its body was tall and slender, but strong. It wore no clothes, but strange markings covered its skin, maybe tattoos. Maybe something else. Suddenly, the alien stopped at a large doorway. Beyond it was a hidden chamber, deep underground. Inside, there was light, but not from the sun. Plants grew here, strange, glowing plants in shades of blue and green. Tiny creatures floated in the air like fireflies, lighting the room softly. The air smelled fresh and sweet. Nothing like the dry dust outside. Alina stepped inside, her mouth falling open in wonder. This was life, hidden on a dead planet. She turned to the alien, who stood quietly at her side, watching her reaction. For the first time since she crashed, she felt a flicker of hope. The alien pointed to a pool of water in the center of the chamber. It gestured for her to drink. Alina bent down, scooping water into her hands. The water was cool and clear, and it tasted pure. It refreshed her instantly, easing the dryness in her throat. After drinking, she sat on a flat stone near the pool. She looked up at the alien, who now sat across from her, legs folded neatly. Silence filled the room, but it was a peaceful silence. She realized they didn't need words. Somehow, this creature understood her needs. As the minutes passed, the alien reached out and gently tapped the glowing stone she held. It pulsed with light again in her mind. She suddenly felt a presence warm, calm, curious. She heard a voice. Not with her ears, but in her thoughts. Not alone, the voice whispered. Her eyes widened in shock. She looked at the alien, who nodded slowly. The stone was helping them communicate. Alina's mind filled with images, visions of the past. The planet had once been full of life and beauty. Forests, animals, oceans, cities. But war came, and everything died. Only this alien survived. The last of its kind. Tears filled Alina's eyes. She understood now why this alien was here, why it had hidden this secret garden underground. It was guarding the last pieces of its lost world. The alien reached out again, touching her hand gently. She felt its loneliness, deep and endless. Her own loneliness matched it to beings stranded and alone. Finding each other in the ruins, the alien's voice echoed softly in her thoughts. Stay. Live together. Alina didn't answer right away, but inside her heart, She knew this was the beginning of something she couldn't explain, something important. The alien stood and gestured again, inviting her to follow. There was more to see, more secrets. In these ruins, more life hidden below the dead planet's surface. As she rose to follow the alien deeper into the chamber, she felt the glow of the stone warm in her hand again. A bond was beginning. Her journey had just started, and somewhere, far above them, the dead planet remained silent and cold. But below, in this secret place, life was stirring again. The Bondalina followed the alien deeper into the underground chamber. The air here felt warmer, filled with a gentle glow from the strange plants. Small pools of water reflected soft blue light. For the first time since crashing, she felt safe. But she also felt something else, something new stirring inside her. The alien walked ahead, stopping beside a strange stone tablet. It touched a symbol, and suddenly the walls around them lit up. Images appeared, like memories carved into light. Alina saw the aliens past the cities of its people, their beautiful homes and their joyful gatherings. She saw them holding hands, singing together under strange stars. Then came images of destruction, fire raining from the sky, buildings falling, oceans turning black. Alina's heart ached as she watched. The alien did not speak, but she felt its sadness through the glowing stone. This was its story, its pain, its loneliness. And now it had shared it with her. A silent bond was forming between them, deeper than words. The alien turned and looked at her with soft, glowing eyes. It placed one hand over its heart. A gesture of trust. Without thinking, Alina mirrored the gesture. Their eyes met, and something passed. Between them, a quiet understanding. After a moment, the alien led her to another room. This one was filled with small plants, carefully tended and glowing softly. The alien knelt and began watering them from a stone jug. Alina watched and then knelt beside it. Helping to tend the plants, it felt simple, but important. Every plant they cared for was hope, a chance for life to return to this dead world. Time passed slowly in the chamber. Alina lost track of hours as she worked beside the alien. They shared no words, but everything was clear. When she grew tired, the alien brought her fruit from a vine, sweet and juicy. When she felt cold, it gave her a soft, warm cloth to cover her shoulders. It was strange but comforting how this creature, so different, understood her needs. As she rested near a small pool, Alina wondered what this bond truly meant. Was this friendship, companionship, or something deeper? She could not explain it, but she no longer felt alone. Suddenly, the alien sat beside her and placed its hand gently on her wrist. Through the glowing stone, she felt a question in her mind. Why did you come here? Alina closed her eyes and thought of Earth, a world filled with noise, war, loneliness. Her mission was meant to escape that, to find a better world. But her crash had brought her here instead, to a place that seemed dead but was quietly alive. She opened her eyes and smiled softly. Maybe I was meant to find this place, she whispered aloud. The alien's eyes glowed brighter for a moment. It gently pressed its forehead to hers, a gesture she could feel was sacred, a ritual of trust and closeness. At that moment, she understood something deep. This alien was alone, just like her. But together, they could heal, not just themselves, but this whole forgotten world. The glowing stone in her hand pulsed warmly. It was as if the planet itself approved. Her heart felt lighter than it had in years. This strange planet, this strange being, they were no longer strangers. The alien stood and offered her its hand. Alina took it without fear, wherever this journey was going. She was ready. They would face it together. Above them, the dead planet remained cold and empty, but deep underground. Something beautiful was beginning, a bond that neither of them could have imagined. Alina woke from a light sleep. Strange dreams had filled her mind, visions of a green planet, forests alive with song, rivers that glowed under twin moons. But when she opened her eyes, the underground chamber reminded her where she truly was. Beside her, the alien was already awake, sitting quietly near a wall, staring at the strange symbols glowing softly in the stone. It rose slowly and turned to her, reaching out a hand. Without a word, she took it. There was a sense of urgency in its movements today. Something important was about to happen. The alien led her deeper through tunnels she hadn't seen before. The walls became darker and the air cooler. Ancient markings covered every surface, glowing faintly as they passed. Somehow, these symbols felt alive, as if watching them, at last. They entered a large, hidden chamber. At its center stood a massive device machine made of stone and metal. Its surface covered in the same strange writing. It looked ancient, older than the ruins above. Alina stepped closer and felt warmth coming from it. The machine pulsed. Softly, like a heartbeat, the alien placed its hand on the machine. The stone she carried grew warm again, and she felt thoughts enter her mind. This was the core. The alien's thoughts whispered. It powered the planet, gave life to everything. Before the war, Alina touched the machine too, feeling a deep vibration inside it. She saw images in her mind, a beautiful world powered by this very device. But then came visions of destruction, a war so terrible that the core was shut down to stop. Without the core, the planet slowly died. The alien showed her something more. The machine could be restarted. But doing so could wake things buried long ago. Old weapons, old enemies. The planet's silence was hiding dangerous secrets. Alina stepped back, her heart heavy. She looked at the alien. Was it asking her to help restart the core? Did it want to bring the planet back to life? If they did this, they might not just awaken the land, they might awaken its nightmares too. But then she looked around the chamber again. The air smelled dead, cold. The plants above could not survive. Long without the core's power, this world would stay dead forever, unless they acted. The alien gently took her hand. It showed her another memory of its people long ago, standing together, full of joy. Then came the war. A choice was made to shut the core down to protect what was left. But that choice cost them their future. Alina realized this was the alien's purpose. It had stayed behind to guard the core, waiting for someone who could help restart it. Now that someone was her breath quickened. Could she really do this? Was she ready to risk it all for a planet that wasn't hers? But when she looked into the alien's glowing eyes, she felt the bond between them. They were no longer strangers, no longer alone. Their futures were now tied together. The alien slowly moved to a pedestal beside the machine. It placed its hand on a symbol, waiting for her to do the same. Her fingers hovered over the glowing stone. A final choice if she touched it. They would awaken whatever slept here. If she walked away, this world would stay dead, and so would the bond growing between them. Alina closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She reached out and pressed her hand to the symbol. The machine hummed. Loudly, lights flared along its surface. The air crackled with energy. Dust fell from the ceiling as the ancient machine woke from its long sleep. The alien stepped back. Standing close beside her, the chamber filled with light. Growing brighter every moment, Alina knew there was no turning back now. The planet's secrets were waking, and soon they would both face whatever came next, together. The machine's hum faded slowly. The chamber became still again. But everything felt different now. Warmth spread through the walls, and a soft breeze drifted through the underground tunnels for the first time. The air smelled fresh, full of life. The ancient core had awakened. Alina looked around in wonder. Tiny glowing vines began curling up the stone walls. Drops of water fell gently from cracks in the ceiling. It was as if the planet was breathing again. Beside her, The alien watched quietly, its glowing eyes softer, almost shining with emotion. For the first time, she noticed how alone it truly was. No family, no people. Only this task of guarding the ruins for ages. Alina stepped closer. She reached out and gently touched the alien's hand. It didn't pull away. Instead, its long fingers curled around hers. They stood in silence, but it was a warm silence, now not cold like before. Days passed as they worked together. The underground garden grew larger. Brighter flowers bloomed in strange shapes and colors. The pool of water became clearer and deeper every day. Alina and the alien shared quiet moments, planting, tending, and watching life return at night. They sat near the pool, sharing food and warmth, though they still couldn't speak aloud. Their thoughts connected through the glowing stone. She felt the alien's kindness and sadness. It felt her hope and loneliness, slowly. These feelings became something more, a bond deeper than friendship. One evening, as soft light from the plants lit their faces, the alien placed its hand gently over Alina's heart. A thought came through the stone. Gentle and simple. "You, my companion now." Alina smiled and placed her hand over its chest in return. Their bond was unspoken, but strong. They both knew they had chosen each other not out of need, but out of something more. As she lay down that night, Alina thought about her old life. Earth had been loud, crowded, filled with war and struggle. Here she had found peace even in a dead world. Even with an alien so different from her, she had found care, warmth, and purpose. But her peace did not last long. In the morning, as they tended to new sprouts near the machine, her wrist device beeped suddenly. A signal rescue ship was near. Someone had found her distress call. Her heart sank and soared at once. She could leave this planet. She could return to her own kind. The alien turned and watched her. It did not speak, but she felt its question in her mind. Would she go? Would she leave this bond, this place where life was starting again? The machine pulsed softly behind them. The plants around them swayed gently in the breeze that now flowed freely underground. This place was healing, and so was she, but could she really stay forever? Alina looked into the alien's glowing eyes. She saw no anger, no demand, only quiet understanding. It was ready to let her choose. Her heart felt heavy as she realized what her decision would mean. The planet above still looked dead and broken. But down here in this secret place, something beautiful had begun. And that something was tied to her. The alien reached out one last time and gently brushed her cheek with its fingers. A soft warmth passed through her, a feeling she hadn't known for a long time. Love. Not love like on Earth, full of noise and promises, but a quiet, steady love, born from survival and understanding. Alina closed her eyes and breathed deeply. Her choice was near, but one thing was clear. This alien, this planet, had changed her forever. Her love for them was real, and no rescue ship could erase that. Alina sat quietly near the pool of water. The glowing plants swayed gently, filling the chamber with soft blue light. The alien sat across from her, its eyes calm, but she could feel its thoughts deep and quiet. Above them, far away, the rescue ship was approaching. She could almost hear its engines humming in the sky. Her wrist device flashed again. A message appeared. Rescue landing in 12 hours. Prepare for extraction. Alina's heart ached as she read the words, 12 hours left to decide. The alien rose slowly and offered her a piece of fruit from one of the vines they had tended together. She accepted it with a smile, but inside, she felt torn. This world was not hers. This being was not human. And yet, here, she had found something she had never truly known before: peace and love, a quiet, simple love that asked for nothing but presence. Could she really walk away from this? The alien walked to the machine's pedestal and touched a symbol. The stone she still carried warmed in her palm. A memory flowed into her mind, images of the aliens' past. She saw it standing among its people. She saw their joy before the war. She saw the moment they made the choice to shut down the core, sacrificing everything. And then she saw the alien alone, watching time pass as its world withered away, waiting for her, even though it didn't know she would come. Alina's eyes filled with tears. This being had waited for so long, not just for rescue, but for connection, for a hand to hold, for hope, and now she had brought life back to this place. Together they had tended the garden, brought warmth to the air. Their bond had healed not just each other, but the planet itself. The alien turned and looked at her, its glowing eyes soft but steady. It did not beg her to stay. It did not try to stop her from leaving. It simply waited. It trusted her to choose. Alina stood and walked slowly around the chamber. Her hand touched the stone walls. The plants, the glowing symbols, everything here felt alive again because of their work. Because of their bond, 12 hours, a lifetime could pass in 12 hours. Or it could end in an instant. The thought of returning to Earth felt distant now. A place full of noise, war, cold metal buildings. Here, she had found silence, peace, warmth, and a bond that crossed all differences. Her heart whispered to her quietly. She already knew her choice, even before her mind caught up. Alina walked back to the alien and knelt beside it. She took its long hand gently in both of hers. Her thoughts flowed through the glowing stone. "I will stay," she whispered. Her voice soft but certain. The alien's eyes brightened. Its fingers tightened around hers. It made no sound, but she felt its emotion, a quiet joy. The rescue ship would come. It would land, but she would not be there to meet it above them. Far above, the engines of the approaching ship roared in the cold air. But deep underground, a woman and an alien sat side by side. No words were needed. Their choice had been made. She was no longer a visitor here. This was her home now. This was her companion, her partner, her love, and together they would heal this planet, one plant at a time, one breath at a time. The next morning, the rescue ship hovered above the crash site. Its lights scanned the area, calling for Alina, but deep below, hidden from sight. She stood beside the alien, the message from the ship repeated again and again. "This is your last chance. Prepare for immediate extraction." She listened in silence, her choice already made. The ship waited for a while, then finally rose back into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. Alina felt a strange calm as she watched her last link to Earth vanish. There was no regret, not even fear. The alien stood quietly beside her, its glowing eyes reflecting the soft green light from the growing plants around them. Life had returned to this place. The air was warm again. The underground garden was expanding each day. The vines climbed higher, tiny flowers blooming. The water in the pool was clearer than ever. Alina and the alien worked side by side, planting seeds they had saved from ancient stores hidden deep in the ruins. Every seed that sprouted was a victory. Every drop of water, a promise. Their bond grew stronger. They moved together like old friends, like family, like something even deeper. Their connection needed no words. When she was tired, the alien offered rest. When it grew still, she quietly worked until it returned. Nights were peaceful. They sat near the glowing pool, sharing food and quiet company. Sometimes she would laugh gently at how strange her life had become. Alone on a dead planet, but no longer lonely, the garden expanded beyond the chamber walls. Roots and vines reached into the tunnels, reclaiming the stone corridors. The aliens showed her how to tend special plants that cleaned the air and water. Each day, the underground world became brighter, softer, more alive. But it wasn't just the plants that changed. Alina felt herself changing too. Her heart no longer ached for Earth. Her body felt stronger, lighter. Her mind was clear, focused, at peace. Sometimes she would find the alien watching her quietly, its glowing eyes soft. With emotion, she would smile, and it would gently touch her hand. They didn't need more than that. Their bond was simple and pure, a love that crossed every difference. One day, she stood at the entrance of the ruins and looked out. The wind carried seeds from the underground garden into the barren land above. Tiny green shoots pushed through the cracks in the dry ground for the first time in countless years. The planet's surface felt alive. The alien stepped beside her, its gaze fixed on the horizon. This was the new beginning, a future not just for them, but for the planet itself. Alina took a deep breath of the fresh air. It smelled of earth, water, and life. Her home was here now. Her place was at the alien's side. Together, they would heal this world, one day. Maybe others would come and find this place blooming again. But for now, it was their secret garden, their sanctuary, their new beginning. The dead planet was no longer dead. It lived again because of love, trust, and a bond between two souls who refused to be alone.